This is Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY. It is sponsored every week by our friends at Independent Bank. Katie Huckle is my co-host, and Katie, we are getting into the teeth of festival season as we say hello to a brand new month.
Absolutely. It is. Yeah.
And it's greatest fourth in the North time.
It is, and it's the man of the hour that we have with us, Ryan Carrigan. Welcome, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
You are one busy man. Tell us what's going on in Lake City.
Yeah, so today,
Friday... hang on just a second. I'm going to edit this because this is going to air tomorrow morning at 8:30.
Yep.
So...
we want people to think we're live.
Cross out everything that's happening on Friday in Lake City and think of the Saturday events as today.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So, Ryan, tell us what's going on in Lake City.
Yeah, so this morning, we've got our vendors in the park. They came in yesterday, got all set up. We got food vendors. We've got music going on starting this afternoon at 3 o'clock. We've got Venom of Virtue. We got Sam Cronkite coming on tonight as well. We've got a lot of live music. We got the carnival going on down at the high school. It's just a lot of fun events going on for families, adults, kids, anybody that wants to be in town. There's a lot going on. It's fun to be here, so come on out. I
do want to mention that Venom of Virtue was the winner of the Battle of the Bands back in Memorial Day weekend, which I was a judge on the panel for. And they are a fabulous group. Are they out of Alma? Is that where they are out of, Ryan?
Yep, some of them are Alma, and I think there's one or two of them from Shepherd, so they're all down there in the Mount Pleasant area, and they were nice enough to want to come back and hang out with us and have some fun at the Greatest Fourth in the North.
You know, Ryan, you have kicked things up a notch, I have to say. Tell us what was the inspiration behind that?
You know, I remember growing up, I grew up here in Lake City, and I just remember what the Greatest Fourth in the North was to me as a kid, and how much fun it was and everything that was going on. And then as I started getting older, people stopped volunteering, whatever the reasoning was. It just got to where there wasn't as much going on. And for me personally, I just wanted to step up. And I know our board felt the same way with a lot of the businesses. We all wanted to step up and just really bring this back and make this something better than what it had been for a while there, and just really make it something that families want to come to and help bring people to our businesses in town that, we all love to support, and they do a great job. So we wanted to make it better for them.
This is a little bit off topic, but I think it does speak to the ability of people to put on events like this. How do you explain the reduction in the willingness to volunteer your time?
It's kind of crazy because a lot of people, and everybody's got a lot of stuff going on. Everybody's busy, but it just seems like people used to be a little bit more willing to give their time and help out, and it's tough. It's hard to get people to come in and help out and volunteer.
Right, and you don't want to spend your fundraising dollars on labor. You want to spend it on recruiting artists or your carnival or don't you have something going on with exotic animals too?
Yep, we've got Mark Rosenthal. He's from down in the Detroit area. It's called Animal Magic.
Okay.
He's coming up. He owns an exotic animal sanctuary and rescue, but he also does educational programs, to kind of teach kids, and not just kids, it's adults too, about these animals and how they're not pets. Mm-hmm. And he does a great job. I've seen a few of his shows now, and it's an awesome experience, and kids really enjoy it.
And
they get to see animals.
And people like that who are traveling, and people who are local who have things to present, they have costs involved, and they don't want to do it for free.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
The other thing that I look at with Greatest Fourth in the North is it's affordable for everybody, Ryan. And hats off to you guys for making that a priority, that everybody gets to enjoy Greatest Fourth in the North.
Yeah, and that's honestly what it's about. People are up here with their families. They come to Lake City to enjoy the holiday with their family, and I understand. My wife and I have 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
It gets expensive when you go to do stuff. So as a chamber board, we've got all the entertainment in the park is absolutely free for everybody to come enjoy. And that was something that we really, strive to be able to do. And we can't do that without sponsors, people volunteering. That's what makes it all possible.
Mm-hmm. You had some people step up with big dollars this year. Can we give a shout out to those folks?
Yeah, Classic Chevy here in Lake City always does a great job. They always step up and help sponsor and, really help this community out a lot.
Thank you, Terry.
But yeah, Terry's a great guy, and
Yep.
they, like I said, they do a lot for the community. We've got Forest Township stepped up and helped out with the fireworks sponsorships. Cadillac Renewable Energy, To the Moon Bakery, JR Concrete. Those are a few of the big ones. We had. I'm blanking here, and I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. You got the big ones out. We love it.
Elliott Building and Excavating. They stepped up a lot. Main Street Rocks, Forefront Credit Union, Forest Area Credit Union. We had an outpouring of people step up to sponsor and make all of these events a possibility.
Right.
So we really appreciate it.
Yep. Hats off to those folks. Can you tell us how many volunteers does it take to pull off something this Herculean?
So we've got the information booth in the park, and that's, selling car tickets, the T-shirts, handing out the pamphlets so people know what's going on, and just answering any questions people may have. Mm-hmm. And that per day takes probably throughout the day about 20 people a day.
Oh, my goodness.
So we try to have 2 people per time slot.
Sure.
And we usually start that about 10 o'clock in the morning, and it goes till 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, and they're the cruise directors, aren't they?
Yep, they direct people and make sure everybody knows what's going on.
Right. Your parade, thousands of people come to that parade.
Yes.
How many floats do you have this year?
Last count we had, and we're still signing people up. I want to say we were around 60 to 70.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
And then we always get people coming and signing up the day of and getting placed. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling when it's all said and done, we'll probably be somewhere between 80 to 100 participants in it.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of fun to watch, though, too. Mm-hmm. And especially when you go down that parade route looking on both sides of the street, they're 3-4 deep, the whole parade route.
It's so true. I know it.
So
it's like, old-fashioned old times. I love it. Let's talk about if money were no object. If money were no object, where would you take Greatest Fourth in the North?
Well, I mean, if money were no object, you'd have a giant carnival. You'd have huge name acts performing every night. Your fireworks show would be just, not that it's not spectacular, because it's a great show, but you would have a 30-minute fireworks show that was high intensity that you don't have to, because you don't got to worry about the cost.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, the reality is all that takes money, and that's one thing that you can't change.
Right. You spend an entire year fundraising for this, don't you?
Oh, we do, yes. Mm-hmm. So the 4th of July next year, planning and fundraising will start July 5th.
Oh, my goodness. So take me back, because this is an interesting story about how you were recruited to be the president of the chamber. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so it's been 3 years. This October will be the end of my 3rd year. We, at the time, this was kind of beginning of COVID and all that. We had Michelle Reichert was our chamber director, and she was doing a fabulous job. And I grew up with her kids, and her and I had a conversation, and it was coming up to the board elections, and she had asked me if I had ever considered or would consider running and joining the board and just helping bring new perspective to it.
Some energy. Yeah.
Yeah. And help try to get it back to what it was. And yeah, I thought about it for a few days, and then I told her, yeah, I would do it. And here I am today. I mean, first meeting that I was on the board, I got voted to be the treasurer.
Okay.
Did that for a year. And then shortly into my second year, the president we had stepped away for personal reasons, and I got voted into that role. So,
were you at the meeting? Because sometimes you get voted into places when you're not there. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I was at the meeting, and I didn't stop it. I was honored to do it. It's something that was not my anticipation, was not what I set out to do. But I seen the direction that we were trying to go, and figured the way to get it there was to step up and do my part.
Right. When we had you on the show before, you mentioned a vocalist, a local vocalist that's coming in to sing during fireworks. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we've got Lexi Rose. Last year, around the 4th, she released a original song she wrote called Lake City Lights. So she grew up in the kind of outside Grand Rapids area, but her family had and has a summer cottage here in Lake City, and she grew up spending her summers here in Lake City over the 4th, and wrote this song about what those summers meant to her and the impact it had on her and what she remembered. And it's an amazing song. Like I said, it's called Lake City Lights. And last year, after that released, I got reached out to by multiple people saying, hey, you should try to get her to come play during the 4th next year. And so I reached out to her, and she's going to come perform that song leading up to the fireworks being launched, and we're excited for it.
You're giving me goosebumps. I mean,
it's exciting.
It really is. And you look at small town talent, and here she's gone big, and to remember her childhood in Lake City. I mean, if you see the parade through the eyes of a child, I've been in that parade before, and you look out into this sea of children, and they are so excited. They're excited about the candy, and they're excited about the floats, and it's just all the excitement of it, And again, it's affordable for everybody.
Yep. And really that was the key thing for us is we do have our greatest 4th in the North Country Stars and Stripe concert that we're doing on July 3rd, which I'm really excited about. That was a whole year in the process. We've got Dalton Dover, who's an upcoming country star that's just rising. Has a couple songs on the radio right now. And then Sweet Tea Trio, which is a band that was kind of put together and promoted by Kid Rock. And then a Michigan native, Kaylin Pace. So we got 3 acts performing on July 3rd at the football field here in Lake City. It's $30 for general admission tickets.
Okay.
Starting at 6 o'clock, going through about 10:30. But you get to watch 3 great acts that are up and coming that I don't think there's ever been anything quite this big in Lake City.
Okay.
And it was something we tried to do just to add something bigger and better to the greatest 4th. And with that said, yes, it's $30 a ticket, but we are going to give $5 of each ticket sale to Friends for Students at Lake City Schools, which is a nonprofit organization that started, I think it was about 10 years ago, when the organizer of that group noticed the little girl in the middle of winter that took her boots off and didn't have socks.
Ugh.
And when I asked about it, the little girl said, well, I don't have any. And it just broke her heart.
Right.
So she started this group and now provides clothing items, winter clothing items, snacks, hygiene products, anything that kids in the school district would need. She helps provide that if they don't have it. And it's all new stuff. There's no used clothing handed down. It's all brand new items.
Wow.
So $5 of each ticket sale is going to go to that group to help her with raising money to be able to provide this stuff to the kids in the school district. But with that said, we got to pay for the acts and hopefully make some money to help grow the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to make sure that we didn't take away from the music in the park that everybody's come accustomed to.
Right.
And like I said, we got a lot of great acts. We got Venom of Virtue. We got Sam Cronkite, who's a Manton native, local guy. Meg Gianna. Zeke Clemens, another native local in the area. Levi Britton, who's from Traverse City. We got Delilah DeWild, who's from up in the Gaylord Alpena area. And then actually on the 4th, we've got Seth Bernard, who's a Lake City native, graduated from Lake City High School. He's going to be playing as well. So we wanted to take these local acts and give them an opportunity and put them up on the stage. And like Seth Bernard, he's toured nationally, and we've got him coming back here and playing in his hometown.
Hometown heroes. I love it. And Ryan, I got to tell you, you can't go to a concert for $30. You know? So I think that's affordable. I mean, you know, I know times are tight with fuel and food and everything, but when you look at concert ticket prices across the board, this seems like a good buy. What genre of music are we going to see on stage?
That's going to be a full country concert. So,
okay.
Belton Dover, he's, like I said, an upcoming country artist. Sweet Tea Trio, they are 3 amazing women that just have great melodies and sound amazing. And then, like I said, Kaylin Pace, she's a Michigan native that's down in Nashville, really becoming a star in her own right, too, and touring with a lot of big-name acts this year and opening up for them. So it's going to be exciting.
So how do our listeners get tickets, and how do our listeners see the itinerary of Greatest Fourth in the North?
So you can go to our website, MasakiChamber.com, or our Facebook page, which is also Masaki Area Chamber of Commerce. Tickets for that concert, you can purchase them by calling the chamber, 231-839-4969, or going on our website, again, MasakiChamber.com, or you can pay, it's $30 at the gate as well. So
okay, but it would be nice for you to have a read on how many folks you're going to have. It'd be nice for folks to get them ahead of time just so you can prepare. If we've got a listener that's interested in contributing to Greatest Fourth in the North in terms of a sponsorship, how do they get a hold of Ryan?
You can message me on Facebook. You can call the chamber office. My business, I own Coffee Insurance Agency, and my office is actually in the chamber building as well. So if you call that 839-4969 number, they can always get you in touch with me as well.
So let's speak to, you went away, a hometown boy comes home. Let's talk about, did you ever see yourself as president of the Chamber of Commerce and running Greatest Fourth of the North? In high school?
No, I would not have ever. If you would have told me when I was growing up that this was going to be the case, I would have laughed and said, you're crazy. You know, it's kind of like everybody. You know, I stayed around for a little while after, you know, high school, went to college, and still lived locally. And then my wife and I moved down to the Mount Pleasant area after college and lived down there for 4 or 5 years. And, you know, I thought I was getting away, and it wasn't home.
Right.
So we came back up because we got our 2 kids and came home, and it's been amazing. And it wasn't long after moving back up, it was probably a year or 2 after we moved back up, that I got asked to join the chamber board, and it's been history ever since. And I've enjoyed it. It's a lot of work. Some days you pull your hair out, but you know what? It's great to be able to give back to the community.
Right. Yeah. And it's new energy that you brought to the festival itself. You know, you've got real momentum with this, Ryan.
That's what we're going for. So
do you have, Ryan, some thoughts, maybe kind of burbling or bubbling under, that you have a dream to bring to Lake City in 2024?
I've got some stuff that I would personally really love to see.
And you don't have to reveal. I mean, that people hear this and they think it's a promise and it's ironclad. So you don't have to get too specific here.
No, and I'd love the Country Stars and Stripes concert. This is the first time doing that. I would love to see us be able to bring, whether it be up and coming artists like that every year, or maybe it grows to the point where we can bring a bigger name act to Lake City.
Right.
But either way, it's a lot of fun. It's something that people can get excited about, and that's what my vision for it to be, is just something that each year we can go one step above and get people excited.
If you have any, I can give you a little bit of inspiration, because on Thursday night I went to the truck stop, and that is where Aaron Tippin and Colin Ray performed, two very, very big names from the 1990s in country music. Mm-hmm. And when that concert was announced and I saw that the ticket price was $99, a very small venue, so a very intimate night, but I thought, wow, that's a lot of money. And that place was jammed, mm-hmm. Ryan. So that speaks to the fact that people are starved for name, live entertainment.
Yes.
And money turned out to not be any object for those folks who were there last night. So on Thursday night. So
you're going to pack your football stadium over there.
Yeah. And you've got a lot more options for seating there.
Yep. Lake City's just got so much going for it. And you can be in Chicago and mention Lake City, and people are like, oh, that lake, it's so beautiful. And, hats off to Kim Blazak, too, and passing the bond issue. I mean, I remember sitting down with Kim and saying, we've got to get to the media, and we've got to tell the story about how you let seniors walk in your gym and how you've got a waiting list for your pre-K program. And she did. She got out at the end of her career as superintendent. She made it happen. And it's giving me chills just thinking about the work that Kim and her board put into passing that bond issue. And it's like, then the town took off, it feels like,
And it has. And that new facility that I want to say they opened it in 2018 at the school, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I know, like I said, growing up here and graduating from Lake City, it was needed, and it's amazing to see it. And the kids going through school now are very fortunate to be able to have the facilities that they do. And I'm glad my kids get to go through there.
It's a source of pride for the town.
And I'll bet those kids, Ryan, don't realize it. That is one of the most beautiful buildings in the entire state, I think, as far as schools go.
Visible from the highway. Yeah. Yes.
So let's kind of advance a couple of weeks. We had you on to talk about the greatest fourth in the North, but I know there's something coming up at Misaki Mountain in a few more weeks that we definitely want to talk about before we let you go here. So and it involves a tribute to a rock group that is steeped in the lore of Cadillac. So go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, we've named it Rock the Mountain. That kind of came about when I started. So the thought of Misaki Mountain came about when we were looking at the Country Stars and Stripes concert. We had talked with Greg Davis, who owns Lakeview Motel and Gift Shop, and also heads the Misaki Mountain Board. And they had an idea of having concerts out at the mountain, which we didn't end up doing the concert for the 4th there, but kind of had that in the back of my mind. And then I got approached by a gentleman from Imperial Beverage. His family, he grew up, they had a cottage here in Lake City and still do. So he spent his summers up here, and
it's that up north
home to him.
It's that up north connection.
Totally.
Striking again. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yep. And they actually have a distributor they work with that just released it's called Drink It Up by Kiss Rum and Gin. And
oh boy.
They wanted to do a Kiss tribute. He wanted to do a Kiss tribute band concert for the release of this Rum and Gin. and he wanted to do it in Lake City because how much he loves it. And just he didn't know where to do it and really who to get involved.
So Ryan, this guy could have done this anywhere, and he picked Lake City.
Yep.
Awesome.
And so that kind of led to us going, and I reached back out to Greg and said, hey, would you guys want to make this a reality? And so here we are. We're going to have on July 22nd, starting at 6 o'clock, we've got a band from kind of the Holton Lake area called Limelight, and they do their lead singer, is a female, and they do a Janis Joplin Women of Rock tribute. So they're going to open up, and then we're going to have, it's called War Machine, the Ultimate Kiss Tribute Band from Detroit. Going to be headlining our Kiss tribute concert for Rock the Mountain.
And this is going to kind of serve as a fundraiser for the chamber or for the fourth. How's that working?
So it's going to be a fundraiser for both the chamber and Misaki Mountain.
Okay.
We're going to split the proceeds. It's $20 to get in, and we're going to split the proceeds evenly to help both organizations raise some money.
Mm-hmm.
Mark this down in your calendar for 3 weeks from today at Misaki Mountain. You know, anything and everything Kiss is just eaten up by the city of Cadillac.
Absolutely.
So it's a short drive from anywhere to go see the show.
Ryan, here's a funny story, true story. When I launched Independent Bank, and Ryan and I worked right next door to each other, Rich, for a long time when he bought coffee insurance. Anyway, they said, Katie, go get some historical photos of Cadillac and hang those in the building because we're in the former city hall, as you know. So I went out and got a huge Kiss photo, which is not exactly what you find in banks. And so when my CEO rolls in, I said, Brad, before you go back to the restroom, I full disclosure, I need to tell you about something. I said, it's different art than you would typically see in a bank. However, Kiss was in our building, and so I thought it was fitting that I blew up a huge picture of them and hung it in the bank. And he looked at me, great guy, and he said, I love Kiss, Katie. Totally appropriate. So I got away with murder, with that. So
you didn't have to explain the whole 1974-75 story to him, or did you?
Well, he hung around that night, so we got to hear that several times.
I gotcha.
From natives,
Yeah.
But it's larger than life what you're doing, Ryan. I mean, we've had medical professionals on the show that talk about we've got a mental health crisis, and it's how to build resilience is to be around other people socially, to interact with others, not social media, but I'm talking person to person. And thanks to people like you who are willing to do your day job, raise your kids, be a good husband, and then do all of this, you must be exhausted.
It's a lot. And I joke with people because I do have my business, which is my day job, and I've got 2 kids. My son's 10 and our daughter's 13.
Oh, boy.
And I also, sometimes I'm surprised my wife hasn't killed me, but I also help run the Little League in Lake City, and I coached my son's baseball team this year. And we had games Monday, Wednesday for him, Tuesday, Thursday for our daughter. So since the last week or two in May through just yesterday, it's been 4 nights a week at the ball fields, and then helping with the chamber stuff and running the business and raising the family. So, and with all that, really the reason I do it is like with this event, with the Greatest Fourth in the North, I get to be out there and you see people from all over the place, different backgrounds, out there interacting with each other, having fun and just enjoying life. And that's awesome to see.
It sure is.
For a long period of time there, starting in about March of 2020, smiles were hard to come by.
Oh, my.
They
were.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of my favorite things to see, besides the children at the parade, Ryan, is your concerts in that little park. And you see old folks. I mean, I'm talking about elderly people that are, it's their chant, it's their fun, and they sit there and just love the music. And some of them get up and dance, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, it really is, and it's just exciting. It makes you can easily get down and get wore out. But when you see people just having fun with what you've done to put all this on, it makes it worth it.
Makes it all worthwhile.
Sure does. Ryan Carrigan, everybody. If you see him around town, give him a pat on the back and an attaboy. He has earned it.
Ryan, as we wrap up here, give us the Facebook page, the website, where people can go for the full schedule of the last 4 days of the Greatest Fourth in the North, if you would, please.
Yeah, so on Facebook, it's Missaukee Area Chamber of Commerce. Our website is MissaukieChamber.com. And you can always stop in at the information booth and you can try to call us. I don't know how often we'll be in the office Monday and Tuesday, but we'll be down there. All of our board members are in these bright greenish yellow shirts that say Missaukee Area Chamber of Commerce. So just look for those, and we'd be more than happy to smile and give you a helping hand.
Thank you.
Right.
And your information booth that is, manned for 12 hours a day.
Yes.
Ryan Carrigan, he is the president of the Lake City Chamber of Commerce, and he is your quarterback for Greatest Fourth in the North. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
And our program, which we love here on 107.9 CDY Cadillac Unscripted, is sponsored by Independent Bank. Join us next week, same time, same station, for some more local chat.
Happy 4th of July, everybody.